What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics. And today we got a reaction to Paul Simon and his song, The Side of a Hill, brought to us by friend, longtime supporter, and patron of the channel, Chris. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the patrons who make this thing go. If you'd like to support us in any way, check out that Patreon link below or the Patreon link on the end screen. We could not do it without our patrons. All right, this comes from Paul's debut solo album, which is the Paul Simon Songbook, which came out in 1965. And years ago at this point, myself and my daughter Mackenzie did a full album reaction to this album, which is fantastic. And it's got a lot of songs, it's got I Am a Rock, The Sound of Silence. It's got some songs on here that This song is attributed to Paul Kane, but that's Paul Simon. It's the alias he used on just two of these songs on here. This came out after Simon & Garfunkel's debut album did not do great. He went over to Europe and spent a lot of time in England and was, toured as a solo artist and did this album. And then back home, The Sound of Silence takes off, and all of a sudden he goes back to Simon & Garfunkel. But so I've heard this song. I don't remember it at all, but I'm going to have the lyrics up as always, which is super important with a songwriter like Paul Simon, one of the best ever.
On the side of a hill in a land called somewhere, a little boy lies asleep in the earth, while down in the valley a cruel war rages, and people forget what a child's life is worth. On the side of a hill a little cloud weeps and waters the grave with its silent tears, while a soldier cleans and polishes a gun that ended a life at the age of 7 years. And the war rages on in a land called somewhere, and generals order their men to kill and to fight for a cause they've long ago forgotten, while a little cloud weeps on the side of a hill.
Wow, what a powerful song, The Side of a Hill. I don't remember hearing this song. I'm sure I probably waxed philosophically on it, but Chris had some great insight into this. He said, I'm not usually one to get into debates on the various conflicts and wars that are going on right now in the world, but the subject matter and lyricism is as relevant now as it was when Paul Simon wrote this in 1965. How tragic it is when the people suffering the most are those that have no control in these situations. And people forget what a child's life is worth. Paul couldn't have written a more true lyric. It ends verse 1. And Paul's tackling the age-old story, from a little different standpoint. A lot of times, these are told, a lot of times when Dylan did them in the 60s, it was, the people who go to war and are actually fighting the war have no control. And it's the leaders, the people with all the power who actually don't go fight. This is even told from, there's a little mention that they forgot what they were fighting for, but it's the child, the innocent people that are there where the war is going on. On the side of a hill in a land called somewhere, a little boy lies asleep in the earth, while down in the valley a cruel war rages. And then that verse that Chris pointed out, that line, and people forget what a child's life is worth. On the side of a hill, a little cloud weeps and waters the grave with its silent tears, while a soldier cleans and polishes a gun that ended a life at the age of 7 years. And then verse 3, and the war rages on in a land called somewhere. So that's how it started out, right? He changed it up a little bit. And generals order their men to kill and to fight for a cause they've long ago forgotten, while the little cloud weeps on the side of a hill. Because throughout time, battles have been fought over a side of a hill, right? Over a little passage of land. That at the end of the day, for most of these battles, I'm not saying all, but most of these battles doesn't matter at all. We're fighting so many wars in this world right now. We're always fighting wars in this world. And most of them don't matter. And some of them that do matter were brought on by one side, and the other side had nothing to do with it, and no choice to fight. If you invaded my land, I have to fight. But what a fantastic song. What a great offering, and what a little gem in Paul Simon's catalog that I surely didn't remember, and maybe a lot of you have not because it's such a storied catalog. But this was powerful. Simple and powerful is all about the words he was telling to us. So let me know what you think of this song down below. Thanks again, Chris, for bringing it. Until next time, guys, I will see you.